Well, I found me a nice place to chill out. About 2 miles from any roads as far as I can tell. And it's right next to a river. I don't know if you can hear my river. It's incredibly quiet here. There's no lights. I can't see any human signs other than me, which counts. But yeah, I figured this is kind of a natural amphitheater right here up against the river with sandy banks. Seemed like one of those few exceptions where I break my no fires preference. But I think on a night that's currently below freezing, there's actually icicles on the cliff above me. I wonder if I could film that for you. How about that idea? You want to see it? All right. Of course, the fire might have made him melt a little bit, but beautiful. Slowly dripping away. There's my little fire. Modest fire, you know. No point in being gluttonous about anything. Oh, I think that icicle just fell. It did. We gave it attention. Whoa. Interesting. The presence of the observer affects the observed. I've been here for like an hour, literally. And that thing just decided to fall off now. Interessant, as we say. Yeah. It's a good spot. Oop. But it's not a good camera angle, is it? Let's fix it. Yeah, I took some of the rocks from the area and made a little fire circle. Yeah, I'm not a fan of people burning down the forest at all. But I think once in a while, it's good to practice building a safety fire, an emergency procedures rehearsal. All I had was a lighter, nothing else. As far as I knew, I didn't want to dig around in my backpack for too many things that would make it easy. And interestingly, I had a little trouble at first. And then I discovered I had a candle. And that made all the difference. I don't always have to resort to such things, but better than not having a fire. So when they start to smoke, sometimes you have to give them a love. I try to go with minimal wood, but sometimes you have to give a little extra something. It's funny. I find myself often looking over at my campfire and talking to her, especially when I'm trying to get it lit. I'm like, come on, I believe in you. I believe in you. I'll sing it a song sometimes. I believe in you. And sometimes I'll just walk past the fire and I'll say, are you hungry, sweetie? It's true. It's true. Because you are feeding her. And she's giving back. I think it's wonderful. I've had this going long enough that I'm going to start to let it smolder after this one last time, right? You know how that goes. One last time. Let's see if we can raise her from her snoozy slumber. Yep. Yeah, I was bugging out. Do you guys get that sometimes where you're just indoors too much and you just gotta come on outside? And it's like last night I walked a couple miles, late at night, but I was in town and it wasn't, I'll be honest with you, it wasn't the same. It helped to get my legs moving for sure. I slept better. Really clear dreams all night, which is interesting. Remembered a lot of them. I don't always, right? Correlation, causation, don't know. But today I just realized I needed to get out on the trail. And so I hoofed it. Kind of a rocky trail along the river here. Literally, I would say I probably did between 2 and 3 miles to get where I am. So I got between 2 and 3 miles ahead of me. It's Saturday night, decided to spend my night out here in Mother Nature. It's not so bad, right? Being out here in the quiet places. Because I'll be honest with you, I was not. I think you're probably feeling for me here. A lot of you, it's like struggling to keep my chin up sometimes. You get that? Where you kind of realize that you're just, the light fades a little bit. It's like the campfire, right? Doesn't mean the fire is out. It's not. It just needs a little air. A little trust. Right? That's why I lit this fire. To remind you of that. That you are sometimes smoldering and sometimes burning, but you're always in there. So if you can, maybe you can get outside. You see, one of the things I love about night hiking, obviously there's pros and cons to both, but with night hiking, especially if you aren't worried because you got enough stuff, the right stuff, not ridiculous amounts, but the right stuff to get you through, or it makes it easier. The night is quiet, isn't it? The night is solitary. I don't know about you all, but I need solitary sometimes. Not all the time. It's funny because I realize my, quote, ego wants to be separate. And I usually just sort of think of that as, not a good thing, because love requires being around people, and yet who am I loving right now when I'm being solitary? Everybody. Right? When I love nature, I'm loving all of us. Right? All of us, which include the fire beings. It's a life form in a way. The rocks, the sky, the birds within them, floating around in the clouds, looking down at us. The trees growing up into the sky. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm kind of underneath this cliff. And there's trees all around. Big ones. Loving the sound of that river. It's funny, there's no wind at all tonight, so I just heard a motorcycle, and it obviously has to be a couple miles away, right? So the sound really travels. Yeah, maybe we should try not to drive so much at night and let nature sleep. Maybe the deer will sleep better and they'll have their wits about them and they won't get run over by your car as much because they won't be sleepy. How about that for a theory? How about just saying, I would like for nature to be at peace. And when I sleep, I want nature to be at peace because I think I'm sharing in that. That's why I still like to shut off the Wi-Fi at night. Keep my phone under the bedroom. I actually prefer to turn it off in the morning. I can always turn it back on, but I turn it off at night. That annoys my family to no end. But I think we have enough mechanical alarm clocks in the world that we could just, you just set an alarm. And then maybe the lack of electricity in your house lets you be more at peace. It's a theory. Prove me wrong. But in the process, you might prove me right.